The studio manager was Paul Maitland, the editor was Susan Hume, and that was Today in Parliament.
This is BBC Radio 4.
BBC News at midnight. This is Chris Aldridge. US forces have tonight hit targets near the Strait of Hormuz, saying the strikes were a response to an Iranian attack on a commercial ship in the strategically important waterway. Search and rescue. Also tonight, a final farewell to Radio 4 broadcasts on longwave. The US says it struck a Radio 4 broadcasts on longwave will end in just over half an hour's time. The BBC began broadcasting on the frequency from its original transmitters in Daventry in Northamptonshire in 1925, before switching to a new transmitting station in Worcestershire. Our media correspondent David Sillito reports.
Ready for number 3? All ready. Right, let her go.
1934, the beginning of an engineering marvel.
Stand by to run up the high-tension machine.
The powerful long-wave transmitter masts at Droitwich, 213 metres high, along with two sister stations in Burghead and Westerglen in Scotland, ensured the BBC was a truly national service.
This is the national programme from London, radiated by the new long-wave transmitter at Droitwich.
Beginning with Eric Coates' The Merrymakers, the BBC's new Droitwich service sent out a signal that travelled far out to sea and, for decades, delivered the shipping forecast.
Dover, Thames, Humber, Heligoland, East Dogger.
And that ability to travel far? In the Second World War, the long-wave signal was a way of communicating across Europe.
These are today's main events. Germany has invaded Poland and has bombed many towns.
And even sending coded messages to the French resistance. And in more recent years,
On 198 longwave.
allowed cricket-starved holidaymakers to follow Test Match Special
In the West
from
Indies.
the beaches of Brittany.
And join Jonathan Agnew.
Hello, good morning and welcome to...
But 92 years on, the masts are showing their age. The elderly technology behind the service is drifting into obsolescence. Scan along longwave these days, and most will only hear the slightly scratchy sound.
I just wonder if there's anyone at the top of
BBC Radio 4 on 198,
actually batting for Radio 4.
which has been warning its few remaining listeners that things are coming to an end.
This service is closing. BBC transmissions on this frequency will end on
15 years after the announcement that investment in the service had come to an end, Arqiva, who operate the transmitters, are shutting it down next week. Which means that tonight, Radio 4 will be saying goodbye to longwave.
Molly 4. Fisher. Variable 2 to 4. Thundery later with fog patches. Moderate or good, occasionally very poor later. German Bight. Thames, Dover, White. 2 to 4. Thundery showers. Moderate or good, occasionally poor. Plymouth. South, veering southwest, 3 to 5. Showers, good, occasionally moderate. Biscay. Variable 2 to 4, becoming west, 3 to 5 later. Thundery showers, good, occasionally moderate. Trafalgar. West, 2 to 4, veering northwest, 3 to 5. Showers, good. Fitzroy, Seoul. South, southwest, veering west later, 4 to 6. Occasionally poor later. At the Merkin Point, occasionally very poor. And that completes the shipping forecast. Well, before we leave you tonight, I just wanted to take a moment to mark the end of an era. For almost a century, the long-wave transmitters have carried the BBC across the airwaves, from the iconic Droitwich transmitting station in Worcestershire to Westerglen and Burghead in Scotland. Although the long-wave signal is fading into history this morning, the memories and the connection it created will endure forever. We shall miss your warmth and crackle. Well, that's it from me, Al Ryan, and all of us here at Broadcasting House. If you have been, thanks for listening. Have a safe, quiet, and peaceful night. Good night. Ihawa.
You are listening to 198 kHz longwave. BBC Radio 4 is no longer available on this frequency. However, you can find Radio 4 many other ways. You can find BBC Radio 4 online via BBC Sounds. Radio 4 is available on DAB digital radio and through your digital television, including Freely. Radio 4 is also available via FM radio on 92 to 95 MHz and 103 to 105 MHz. Plus, you can listen via your smart speaker. Just say, play Radio 4. Information on how to listen can be found on the BBC website at bbc.co.uk/reception. You are listening to 198 kHz longwave. BBC Radio 4 is no longer available on this frequency. However, you can find Radio 4 many other ways. You can find BBC Radio...